Hello everyone. You all know me by name because I have had posted videos under my YouTube channel, The Athenian Geek. Today I am not going to post a video, or I'm not going to. The motive is not behind. The motive behind this video is not to disclose or teach or to refer to a political concept or a sociological impact of on society or anything like that. I mean, it's not related to social sciences, but what it is related to is something to society. I want to question that what and where are we leading. I would like, as far as my knowledge of sociology is concerned, reading Emile Durkheim, Max Weber, Karl Marx, and Comte, and all that philosophers, and even the political philosophers like Plato, Aristotle, Locke, Hobbes, Hobbes, and Yuan, I I've came to a conclusion that all my uh, knowledge, all my readings, all my capabilities of intellect have shooted me out to a thing known as a word known as phase. Phase, a life or society revolves in a phase. Today is 2020 going on. It's a pandemic time. I should not be uploading such video during this pandemic time, rather being showing sympathy or empathy to the migrant workers or the COVID sufferers or the doctors or everything like that. But apart from that, what I feel that what the need of the society is the mental health, which is to be addressed on a very specific way, in a very specific way, sorry. So as I was telling you about phases, when I was in my undergraduation, somewhere down the line around 2011-12, I saw a phase of Marxism evolving out. People were getting influenced by the Karl Marx ideas and uh, by the ideology of Marxism and socialism. Slowly the phase vented out into the period of feminism. And when I reached my third year, and I saw the movements like Pinchra Tod, and then the women pasting their menstrual pads on the pillars of the Delhi University North Campus, and many of the activities being coming out of the field of field related to women empowerment. That was just the time phase when the Nirbhaya case happened. After that time, today, if I try to witness the phase which is going on in society, is somewhere related to the mental health and peace of people, which many organizations, many NGOs, many health organizations, and the people concerned with mental health are trying to produce out a productive workforce for the people who are suffering from mental illness. uh, my whole idea of displaying or recording this video is not that firstly I would like to tell that I will be doing this video into 2 to 3 phases. Phases not as of what I said, but in parts, like it will be a long video. So uh, it was 2006, December 2006, when at sharp 2:205 p.m. I got a panic attack in my first time in my life. I was studying in class 10th. During that time, it was very new. During those days, it was very new for the parents and the society to accept that people could even suffer from depression, or people or the child being ditched by a girl, or a love, or a sibling inferiority superiority complex, or the society of the relationships, the kinship part, everything could affect the mental health of a person who is quite liberal in his thought process, which I was at that time. I was brought up as a child who believed, who was taught that only education can bring him at par with other people. My parents being a middle class serviceman, although in a government job, but then they taught me to, focus more on my studies and then achieve anything I want. I was always the kind of a guy who was striving very hard to achieve well in academics, very dedicated towards academics. Everything was for me was academics. But then I will not blame that academics ruined me. I will blame that academics played a very huge part in me. On 26th December 2006, when my parents saw me lying on bed, shivering, jumping from the bed, my hands shivering, my body getting cold in December time frame, and in the core winters, in during the sunlight, and uh, I was screaming loudly that my future is devastated. I'm feeling sad and I'm feeling bad, and all that creepy thoughts which were coming out. So what all they could do was to just to take me to the emergency. Could do nothing at that time. It just pointing, just pinching an injection of sleepiness, and I dozed off. This process went till 2 to 3 months. I gave my boards during this process. Obviously, there was a scene which I would like to bring out. What happens in India is the occult sciences. Occult sciences, or let's call it in a more sophisticated manner, the exorcism part of the Christianity, which was a modern aspect of the tantric vidya of the fourth Ved of India, that was even being practiced, and there were sayings that things are different than that time. Although I cleared my 10th, I was having very less interest in him sciences. Sciences did not do well with me, be it medical, be it non-medical, and back in those times, it was only JEE, AI, Triple E, and Biologica, some medical entrance exam, which was there, and people used to be working very very hard for those examinations. I was having no interest in that. It was the society part which forced me to took up non-medical as a subject and maths as a subject, and trust me, vector quantities, quantum physics, then organic inorganic chemistry, these were the things which was going overhead me. And when I pointed out that things are going overhead me, people started blaming me that I am a mindless person. I cannot understand simple things, and I do not have a way of talking to them. This is what one of my teachers told me, that I do not know how to talk to teachers just because I said the things are going overhead. So okay, things were going in a manner. I was put on antidepressants and some kind of null medication. By when I use the word null medication, that means wrong medication. I was diagnosed for bipolar disorders and some kind of let's call the fit part which was diagnosed, and I was put on that anti-epileptic drugs for a very long period of time, which I took, and obviously the devastation they cause. So I flung in my class 12th. I do not want to bring up minor relationship I had with a girl with whom like the way she treated me, and the way she left me saying she cannot tolerate a mental health patient anymore. I don't want to bring up that part because it was right on her part, because we people, the mental health patients, do not actually belong to society. When our parents cannot accept us, when our parents cannot openly say that my child is suffering from mental health depression, a simple word depression, very 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 simple depression, rather saying he's having fever in his head, or rather saying he's having any other kind of physical ailment rather than medical ailment, and uh, copy pasting the societal aspect of the ailments which were more important than to my mental peace. I flunked in class 12th. Very good. No issues, no regrets. I didn't know anything. I mean, when I was writing my mathematics paper, I remember I knew nothing about that mathematics, what was there in the exam, what was written on the question paper. I could not hardly decipher it. The second wrong choice I took was that I again opted for non medical. I believed in myself that somehow I have the power to crack JEE. I have that power to get into that higher prestigious institution of the country, because this idea was also implied. This idea was also implied on me by the society. by the burden of the society which we people carry as students, that you are meant to reach the highest levels of education, otherwise you will never be able to succeed, since you belong to a middle class family. And I must put a few lines in Hindi. One of my very popular personality in my family background says कि you people, you are belonging to a clerical family, you will be a clerk only one day, you cannot rise above that, you cannot fall below that. Things were very complicated. Things were very complicated. Just imagine a 16-year-old child and suffering from such depression, which was not even diagnosed well, and going on anti-epileptic drugs, and then being forced to study such hard sciences and stuff was like which he did not even understand, and then again pushing him towards that, and then making him do such things uh, which was actually devastating time for me. I'm really sorry to say, but the education system actually ruined me. And the education system not alone, the society is what has created that education system past those days. Maybe the change is there. The liberal way has came out now. So second time even I flunked. Then I don't know how, why, कैसे मुझ में courage आया, and I took up humanities. I took the subjects which I loved the most: psychology, philosophy, political science, and history. So, I will not blame that my school teachers were not up to the mark, or resources provided were not up to the mark, but I, I can assure you that any success, any rate of success, or any point of success, or any percentage of success I achieved in my last attempt of class board examination was just because of my own efforts. I used to work very hard. I left home. I used to stay in libraries. I started up smoking. I'll give you another reason why I started smoking. So there was peace in my head, but there was departation from society. I started hating the world. I started taking alcohol at the age of 18 years. Then one day, just to ease myself out, just to ease my anxiety out, which medicines were not being able to do, I started smoking. And that was the first day when, in an hour, I smoked 10 cigarettes together, all together. And then my diagnosis was changed from my hometown to All India Institute of Medical Sciences at New Delhi, and I was diagnosed by dissociative disorder, and the medication started. My therapy session started. I was getting a bit of relief. But although there was a loophole, there was a big loophole in that diagnosis too. What happened was, the picture which came in front of the senior medical residents of All India Institutes was that my personality as a whole came out in front of them as a dissociative personality. But that dissociative personality was not the actual ailment I was going through. It took 1 2 years, 3 years. I was continuously being visiting AIMS from Punjab to Patiala, and let me please put it more specifically, that the greatness of my family in helping me out, fighting the society, although rejecting me, but fighting the society and bringing me to AIMS twice a month on fifth pay commission during that time, and that too via cab, because it was not possible to come in a bus and meet the doctor. And twice a month means almost around like 10 to 15,000 for two cabs to come up and down. And the earning of my father being very limited, my mother being very limited because of the lack of shortage of salaries and the small pay scales. But as a whole, they were doing their best. So what else they could do was, they sold the house. They sold the house for my health. Yes, I'm really proud of my parents that they supported me that much, but I hate them that much that they did not accept me in the society. They accepted me personally, but they never accepted me in society. Slowly, today, After that day, I was once became very critical, and one of the psychologists, not to be named because she did not want to, suggested to visit Wimhans, Vidyasagar Institute of Medical Sciences, one of the prominent institutes in Asia at that time. Now it's a multi-speciality at that time for neurosciences and mental health. So I was under the diagnosis of a doctor, hospitalized for 1 month into the brutal corridors of that hospital, and just doing on very high sleeping pills and antidepressants. And after 1 month, when I was released from there, I opted for humanities and I started working on my own. I visited doctors once in a month. Therapist was very good. Still having that, the therapist, the same therapist, she helped me a lot. And I topped my city. I came out as a topper of the class 12 humanities. Then I shifted to Delhi University, as the aim was to move out, to achieve high. Who knowing that coming to Delhi would bring a devastating, the catastrophic change in my life. I mean, things are planned, but sometimes the plannings need to be moderated, which I believe were not did at that time. I came to Delhi, and I still remember I felt that complex of overage between the students of my class. Although I took political science honors, as studying political science was my passion, I was very dedicated to social sciences, very much interested in knowing the world history, Chinese history. I completed the course on Chinese history in my class 12th. I read Bipin Chandrovich as a reference book. I'm not exaggerating that I'm a very hard worker, but I'm just saying that I read Bipin Chandra pre and post independence during my class 12th only. Yeah, so I was having huge cluster of knowledge in my brain, and I tried to imply that in my graduation, and I tried to be friend with the third year students. That was my biggest gravest mistake I ever made. I neglected my peers and started being friend with those people who in the end of the year left me like anything. They just forgot that I ever existed in their life. And let me be very honest, the bond which we shared was so strong that even a hammer could not break it. A thought of hammer could not break it, but ultimately the time did. Time is greater and heavier than the hammer of thought. So uh, so this was till first year. And there is at least I guess I can make it till 30 minutes. 17, it's 18 minutes going on in my clock. And I'll do 2 minute more video, then I'll do it in the next part. So in doing so, I somehow in second year was uh, getting symptoms of schizophrenia. So I went to my therapist immediately, knowing the factors these are schizophrenic symptoms, and studied psychology also. So I reported it to her. She cross-checked, cross-examined everything, and unfortunately, I was all at last hospitalized again for 1 month, and every life was shut down for me. I came out of that hospital, and trust me, for at least 2 months, I was just sleeping. The medication was so high that I was just sleeping. Then my mother and my father came to Delhi again. They tried to take me to the hospital. Doctor attended me. Medications were reduced somehow, and everything was happening. And the normal college life started. The third year students whom I was friends with had left, had graduated, and what was left was now just a cluster of school classmates, and I tried to be friend with them. Uh, my motto of making this video is not to tell you my life story or to gain sympathy from you people. My motto of telling this is that the persons or the friends which I used to call, if humanity, if the word humanity says that friendships exist, uh, none, zero, no one visited ever me in hospital. I don't know why, but none visited. And I did not mind. I did not mind. I accepted. I accepted my fate. But what hurt I got was when one day in hospital, in the corridor, I saw my mother sitting on a bench and crying for a child, not to be one such child who could be like any other one, who could not be accepted by the society. Today, if I go for marriage, no girl is going to accept me just because I'm on such a high antipsychotic drugs, and uh, who's going to take me to hospital if I needed a medical checkup? The girl who marries me wants to go to honeymoon with me, have sex with me. And what about my libido? The tranquilizers has done with me. Who's responsible for that? uh, Little more I want to say is, again, I'm not complaining, I'm just that asking and closing this video just right now, that do we people like me who suffer from mental ailments, are we not people? Are we are special. I agree, we need care, we need attention, but you give hand to a blind person to cross the road, but on the same side, when a person standing and just wondering where he has to go, you are just ignoring that person, saying कि साला पागल है. Just think, obnoxiously you have people have made us obnoxious creatures. We stand today nowhere, we stand nowhere. Then I will continue with this video, be it as much long. I'm really sorry, I cannot stop in between right now, my emotions are totally busted out. So after this time, then I started, my second and fourth semester went well, and I fell in love with a girl. The girl was a research intern under me. I was the leading a team of 3 to 4 interns, and we were doing a research project, and I felt in love with her, and she also fell in love with me. The love was very intense. The love was very, very intense. In the beginning of the 1 or 2 months, I realized that I have found someone who understands me, and it continued for 3 years. But how it ended, it's the next part. But then final year happened, and what unfortunately, due to my schizophrenic symptoms, I just went down to buy a pack of cigarettes, and what I realized, that a shadow is following me. Yes, a shadow was following me. I was haunted. I was having no one to hold hand and scream. I was having no one who can just calm me down. No one was there. I just ran into my flat, locked the doors, and went to sleep. Next day was my exam, and I skipped it. Fifth semester exam I skipped, and the university didn't give me an extra chance. I had to spend 6 extra months to graduate, and in that 6 extra months, I prepared for prelims for UPSC. I cleared the prelims. Undoubtedly, it was very easy. There was no hard and fast rule. Hard working is never, I have shied away from. But after clearing the prelims, just because I was in love with that girl and the girl belonged to Delhi, I did not opt for any other institution out of Delhi for masters. And unfortunately, I was not able to get either Delhi University or either JNU. So I started my education at School of Open Learning, Delhi University, Masters in Political Science. But 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 the cognitive level of my brain was dead. Why? Because I was on antipsychotic drugs for 2 years now. I could not think. I could not have sex with that girl. My libido was very low. My penis did not stand erect at any time. I used to panic anytime. I used to have done hundreds of self harms. If you can see my arms and my anything like that, and you can just recognize how much deep self harms I have done. I delved into poetry. I delved into writings. I did everything possible which a depressed person can do. tears in my eyes which are not visible to you. So I my parents took me back to Patiala. The relationship became the long distance relationship, although I put in each and every effort at my every level best to make that girl happy at her every end. I used to visit Delhi twice a month. I used to stay with her. I don't know why, what happened it, and then she one day told me that, Yuvraj, please, you cannot handle it, you're a mental patient, leave this, you cannot do it, I'm breaking up with you. I said okay, because she was graduated, she was having a job. I was just graduated without a job. She can have anyone in her life, a better person than me. Why should I stop her? That's really something which is canny. That's a sin. Go ahead, please enjoy your life. And I was left with nothing. I cried, I screamed, I did everything I can, but nothing happened. What else I could do was I just uh, tried to focus on academics again. I used to read. I used to read day and night. I used to smoke day and night. I used to be on coffee day and night. Everything I could do was just to study. I studied masters in political science, Delhi University, each and every single note, subjects, everything I studied. I studied masters of sociology of Delhi University, each and every subject, each and every note. Although I was working with the certain newspaper and also some part-time jobs and to earn some good quantity of money, and then I was having that much knowledge of my subjects that I could be taken as a lecturer in a reputed school for class 11, 12, despite being just a bachelor. So after that, I did my MSW, and today I'm sitting in front of you. I'm pursuing PhD. I'm a PhD aspirant. The main motto, the main aspect of the video starts now. I have 72 contacts in my WhatsApp. The only message I get is from my brother who says, "Be happy." Today, when Sushant Singh Rajput committed suicide, people posted on their Facebook walls, stories, Instagrams, "We are there for you, talk to us, talk to us, talk to us." Are you people thinking that we are mad? Yes, we agree we are mad, but we are not that mad. We know when we are going to text you, the second moment you will say that we do not want to talk nonsense. Please do not discuss past. Past is past. Everybody is sad. Everybody has problems. For God's sake, we are not saying that we are not having, you or people are not having problems. I'm saying we people are saying that we are different. We are different. Your problems are your created, ours are given to us. If you cannot do anything, then just do not post that shitty fucking posts on the internet. We are there for you, or we are going to listen to you. Please do not commit suicide. And that stupid self suicide suicidal helpline which the government has started, and never contacts. I've tried it. No one hears you. Thing is, it hurts. It hurts when you lie. Do not accept us. I'm not saying accept us. I know I cannot have medical insurance because I'm a mental patient, but that doesn't mean that not going to even let me have my chemotherapy for EAHA, and then blame out my father that he is the one responsible for making me do chemotherapy. No, please do not. Do not make fake claims. It hurts. If you cannot be genuine to us, if you cannot accept us, then please do not create a nonsense superficial world for us. We also exist in your world. I know, I agree, we do not exist in your world. If Sushant Singh Rajput has committed suicide, the best thing he has done. If tomorrow a girl again comes into my life, which my mother is planning to making me get married, and another after 2 years she says, "Ke, yaar, I cannot handle you. Your libido is low. I want to have sex with someone else." I'll say, "Okay, go ahead and have." And the third day she comes and says me, "Okay, okay, I'm in love with that guy." Oh, come on, for God's sake, differentiate between love and sex. I'm loving you. He's giving you sex. One day my libido will be high. Then whom will you go with? Today I have no one, no friend. And you can you imagine when the night falls, how it feels? When an evening coffee I sip silently, how it feels? How pinchful it is? How 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 dreadful it is to survive like like giant person in a lonely island. No, doesn't matter to anyone that either you're naked or you're clothed. Why? Look at my face. I haven't bathed for past 3 months because I do not feel like bathing. I do not feel. I'm scared of water. I feel that if water is going to fall me, I'm going to drown in it. I do not want to take bath, but unfortunately, I will tomorrow. But point is, कि if you cannot accept us, do not try to enter our lives. Do not give us tags. If you really want to fight, don't claim that bloody 40% disability is necessary. That to be two seats reservation into out of 100 for just for the sake of example. And then also you say कि अरे अंधे लोगों को देखो उन्हें कुछ दिखता नहीं है, जिनकी टांगे नहीं है उन्हें देखो वो भी तो खुश हैं। अरे अच्छा है ना, अच्छा है, उन लोगों के लिए तुम तो हो। हमारी टांगे काट लो, हमारा गम किसी को दे दो, टांगे काट लो, लेकिन जीने के लिए इज्जत तो दो, वो सम्मान तो दो। वही तो तुम लोग देते नहीं हो। फिर कहते हो कि सुसाइडल हेल्पलाइन है, टॉक टू अस एनी टाइम। व्हाट डू यू थिंक व्हेन यू से दिस? You're not even out of your masturbation Jagannath thing, and you are trying to give us time. Oh, come on, for God's sake, go to hell. If you just cannot type a hello and hi by your own self and say, "Ke, yes, I'm there with you, I will talk to you, I will listen to you, I will understand you." And if by chance a person like me who gets calls, supposedly I get a call from a girl and she says that she's going to talk to me or she's going to listen to me, and after a period of like 6 months I fall in love with her and I say that I fell in love with you, and the girl says, "No, I'm really sorry, I cannot love you, I can only give you sympathy." Then go to hell. I don't need your sympathy. It's very easy for me to cut my arm, but I do not do it. You know why I am today sitting here? I would have been died 3 days before, and people would have been sitting here and moaning on me. The only reason I am alive today and I haven't committed suicide is just because my younger sibling told me that your father is being a sufferer with you for 14 years, and now today if you die, the society is going to kill him by saying that for the 14 years you served this child, and in the 15th year this child has did nothing for you. He did not even stand by your expectations of staying alive. That is the only reason I am alive. I have I have abundance of academic knowledge. Abundance. Hell of academic knowledge. Each thing is it there in my brain. I don't have a degree. And unfortunately this is not suits American lawyer working, and I'm not in America that I can join PM without a degree. Where should I go? If today I go to an interview, I remember I went to an interview and they selected me. Then they said, "Do you have any medical ailment?" If I would have lied, I would have lied to my own self. I said, "Yes, I have a medical ailment. I am a schizophrenic." Oh, we cannot take you. This is risky for our company. This is risky for our organization. Oh, really? Does my mental health risks you? Do you think I'm going to kill you? दोहरा आएगा ऐसे ऐसे करके? नहीं. If something would happen, I know how to control. I would not need you. I am on medication. 400 rupees daily medication I take. But I do not complain. I don't complain to in concluding this video right now, I'm saying I do not complain to society, I do not complain to world, I don't complain to my parents, I do not complain to my childhood, my younger sibling, or any of my friend who has left me. I complain it to completely my own body, the your superficial god, your superficial universe, right? Your every damn thing, the dumbest of the dumbest thing of your uh, universe, world, productive, unproductive, material, unmaterial, Durkheim, Marx, anyone, everything has just done one thing. They have made us ashamed of our own selves, and this ashamedness has left us of nowhere. I request you, do not play with the emotions of a person who's mentally ill. If you cannot give him respect, at least do not touch their hearts. Do not let them to kill themselves. I'm dying day by day, and I promise one day I die, I'll write it on my tombstone, not my name, a mentally ill patient. Thank you very much.